What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, check this out. I wanted to discuss this situation with George R.R. Martin and his comments in regards to fandoms, all across the board on social media, on YouTube, Twitter, you name it, where basically he's upset that folks aren't really positive like they used to be. When you come into especially like the geekdom and the fans of nerd content, geek content, the stuff that we watch and we love, we grew up with. George is like, oh man, you guys are so negative now. You can see on this headline by Variety, George R.R. Martin says anti-fans rule social media and dance on the graves of movies that flop. It used to be fun talking about our favorite films. I feel like this is a shot at me. I feel like this is a shot at me and all the other YouTubers and everybody on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call that. Social media cats that get out there and talk about, the latest goings on in Hollywood. I brought this up on Echo Base Network last night on last night's Echo Base stream. I was saying, it's, George R.R. Martin put this information out there. And I was kind of like, yeah, but here's the problem with it, George. OK, here's the problem. Yeah, it used to be fun talking about our favorite films. But what have they done to our favorite franchises? Let's take a look at what they've done to Star Wars and to Marvel and to DC, et cetera, so on and so on. All right. I got another video coming up about Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've been reading y'all comments. OK, let's continue on talking about this information that just keeps coming out, from the showrunners and the interviewers, everybody that's putting the information out there about Avatar. Yeah, I got another video coming up about that. But to George R.R. Martin's point, we'll go ahead and skip to the point that he was bringing up here. Yeah, here's the quote. It used to be fun talking about our favorite books and films and having spirited debates with fans who saw things different, Martin continued. But somehow in this age of social media, it's no longer enough to say, I didn't like book X or film Y, and here's why. Now social media is ruled by anti-fans who would rather talk about the stuff they hate than the stuff they love and delight in dancing on the graves of anyone whose film has flopped. It's all so sad. So there's a mixture of truth, but there's also a mixture of what George isn't seeing, the bigger picture, okay? Number one, he's talking about the anti-fans would rather talk about the stuff they hate rather than the stuff that they love. See, here's the problem with that. They've co-opted the stuff that we love, all right? And we hate what they've done with the stuff we love. We hate what they've done with Star Wars. We hate what they've done with Marvel. We hate what they've done with all of these major franchises. Star Trek, Doctor Who. I don't even watch that much Doctor Who, but all the Doctor Who cats are like, we hate what's going on here, And so, in a sense, George, we are talking about the stuff we love, but we are talking about we hate what they did with it. We're still talking about the stuff we love. We're still talking Star Wars. We love Star Wars. We just don't love Disney Star Wars, all right? We hate Disney Star Wars and how they've bastardized the entire franchise. How Kevin Feige is starting to run Marvel into the ground. MCU. You can hate that term all you want to. That's what he's doing. And that's what people are talking about. So, George, it's not that we're talking about stuff that, we're just talking about the stuff we hate, right? Because he mentions this part right here, right? They're delighting and dancing on the graves of anyone whose film has flopped. Nah, we're talking about the films that flop that meant something to us, If it was a film that flopped, like you look at all the DC flops from 2023, like every last one of those films flopped. And yeah, did we dance on the graves of that? Well, we talked about it from the standpoint of, James Gunn, you set these films up for failure. You allowed this to happen, And on top of the fact that they had all kinds of content in there that people was just kind of scratching their heads about, I wouldn't say that anything was overtly woke with the DC stuff that came out last year. All right. Nothing was woke. Nothing was there was some of that in there, obviously. But, continuing to cast, a real life villain like Ezra Miller, in Flash. Yeah, that's a problem, and we're going to bring that up and we're going to talk about that. Because of the things that Ezra Miller has been able to get away with. He's a criminal. Why is he still in this film? You cut all of these other people out of films. There's this inconsistency with Hollywood, and we're going to continue to bring it up. And yeah, if you call it dancing on those graves, all right, fine. We're just talking about it. In my opinion, we're just talking about it and giving our rightful opinions on the matter. It says here, Martin knows a thing or two about contending with anti-fans on social media, giving the extreme backlash that met the final season of HBO's Game of Thrones, which is based on its ongoing book series. Yeah, it's also the fact that this cat ain't finished the series yet. That's a lot of the fans that he's probably upset with, people that keep coming up in his face. When you gonna finish the books? Yo, George, hey, are we going to get another book? Man, it's been years. I think Gary from Nerd Erotic got like a running countdown to the day, like what's going on with that? But to see the problem with Game of Thrones, the last season, again, it's people talking about what they love. They loved Game of Thrones. The backlash is a testimony to the fact that people loved Game of Thrones. They were waiting for the dramatic final conclusion, the final season. Oh my God, I can't wait to see how this thing ends. People were pumped. People were excited about it. You got everybody's hoped up because you had led us along with this journey with all of these various characters and everything. And it's supposed to culminate in this amazing final season. And then we got that last season. It was like, what the hell is this? And that's the problem, George. So yeah, when everybody was coming out with the backlash, it's a backlash to how the hell do you finish such a great series like this? Like, how do you do that? And them dudes, they've been written off ever since. Benioff and Weiss, the showrunners of Game of Thrones. Them cats, man, nobody trusts them dudes right now. Before, they were getting projects. Oh, yeah, Star Wars movies, this and that. Everybody was looking forward to their next thing. But see, that's the thing. Again, it's the backlash. You saying, oh, there was extreme backlash. Yeah, extreme backlash due to the fact that you ruined something that was great. And that's what George has to understand when it comes to, dancing on the graves of anyone whose films that flopped. Look, there were all kinds of films that flopped that nobody talks about. Killers of the Flower Moon was a giant flop. Are we ranting and raving and going on and on about it? No, because we don't care about it like that. But we care about Star Wars. But we care about Marvel. Again, it's the geeks, all right? It's the geeks. It's the same thing. It's like they come in and they co-opt all of these franchises. I'm about to talk about Avatar in a little bit. But you also got like anime, All of these studios wants to jump in there. Hey, what's the latest, hottest anime? And look what they did with One Piece. And yeah, they did One Piece right. But we're all nervous because we've seen anime done incorrectly. We've seen them take a great anime like Death Note and completely destroy it. And anime, again, was something that it was just us. It was our stuff. All right. It was the dweebs and the otakus, the geeks, the nerds. Those are the people that cared about anime. But see, now you got these corporate cats who want to step in, and, we're going to take this franchise and we're going to do this and this and this with it. Instead of just sticking to the script and giving the fans what they want. If you're going to take it and adapt it, like I always said, get as close to the original as possible because it was the original that people fell in love with. That people, if you're going to do an adaptation, get as close to the original as humanly possible. That's what people fell in love with. All right. Not whatever nonsense you're thinking up in your screwed up brain, So I think that's the part that George is missing. The author is also involved in the prequel series, House of the Dragon. We know that. I am hardly objective when talking about anything based on my own work, but I have to say I thought both episodes were great. Martin wrote to his fans at the time. He's talking about he saw the first 2 episodes of the upcoming season of House of the Dragon. Dark, mind you, very dark. They make you cry. I did not cry myself, but one of my friends did. Powerful, emotional, gut-wrenching, heart-rending. Just the sort of thing I like, Yeah, see, that's it there too, George. The kind of stuff that we like, if they do it right, everybody's happy. If they do what we expect, just the sort of stuff that we are looking for when it comes to Hollywood adapting all of these big franchises. It's not just we're dancing on the grave. There's tons of movies that flop every year. We're not just dancing on the graves of every single movie that flops. We're talking about the stuff that means something to us. So I think George is a little bit off base, when it's coming to, social media being ruled by anti-fans that would rather talk about the stuff they hate rather than the stuff they love. We are talking about the stuff that we love and we hate what they've done to it, So George has to understand there's a bit of a change up there, George. You're not seeing the big picture of what us fans are saying. We're saying that they are ruining great franchises that meant something to us. It's not like this crap, no, it don't really mean nothing to me, Transformers doesn't really mean anything to me. And then you see the Bayformers and it's like, Jesus, man, what the hell? I think what people have to understand is that all of these franchises meant something to us, coming up, growing up, and we always wanted to see them, given the big Hollywood treatment. We wanted to see them on the big screen, with plenty of money pumped into it, special effects, the best money can buy. We wanted to see that. And we are willing to throw our money behind it. We'll buy all of the merchandise and the posters and the action figures and we'll go hard after it. You know, that's what we are all about as fans. We want that stuff. Have you seen some of the money people have spent on Star Wars merchandise? I got a buddy that got an enormous Star Wars collection. One day I might have to interview him. He has an amazing Star Wars collection, and he's got just signatures of all the different actors. And I mean, he is paid top dollar for everything. It's like those are the kinds of fans, and they deserve the respect from the creators. They deserve the respect from the studios. You know, the Kathleen Kennedys and Kevin Feige's of the world. These fans deserve your respect instead of you pushing ideology down their throats, you know, and destroying the stuff that we love with crap that we can't stand. Instead of doing that, why don't you give the fans what they want? Why don't you actually respect your fan base for once? That's the thing that George is missing here. That's the missing ingredient that George isn't understanding, that these people that, you know, are talking about this stuff in such a negative light, the quote unquote anti-fans, they love the things that they are talking about. And, you know, Hollywood has absolutely destroyed them. So, you know, George has to, you know, kind of peel back, you know, about what he's saying, because we aren't getting the content that we used to get, you know, from these various franchises, you know. But anyway, folks, I just wanted to throw that out there because that's been on my mind this entire time. And, you know, I discussed it on EBN, but I just wanted to go into this particular article and drop some more information about that. You guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.